Hi. How you doing? Let's talk about color trends, you guys. Well, hello there. I'm Nusha, also known as Ferocious and Pretty Pens, and welcome to another video. Today, we are going to be or not to be. That is the question. That's actually not the question. The question is really, what are the summer color trends? Because summer is right around the corner. The first day of the season is June 21st. So we got a little ways to go, but not that much. So let's look at what some of the color fashion trends are that are taking the world by storm. New York, London, Italy, Milano, whatever, Fashion Week stuff. And what that translates to in our world of fountain pen inks, because I have a lot of them and I think this is fun. What we're going to do that's a little bit different this time around is I've already done an entire page of swatches and I'm going to voice over those swatches because ain't nobody got time to sit through 30 minutes of me swatching inks on a page. Just be honest with one another. We want it today. We actually wanted it yesterday. Today, yesterday, fast, boom, bam, beam. And so because of that, I'm going to voice it over and speed up portions of it because I don't want to bore you guys. So for each of these trends, I'm going to show you what the picture of the trend is based off of the latest article I found, which is from Refinery29. Thanks, Refinery29. Yay! And then I'm going to show you what my interpretation of that color is based off of two colors that I've chosen from my collection. I'm going to preface the contents of this video as you are going to see me do things that you should not do. For example, I may or may not dip my folded nib and dip nib pen thingamajiggy in the actual bottle of ink. Do not do that. Never ever do that. I am doing that at my own risk because I like to live on the edge. But you should never do that, and here's why. You might be spreading around germs or contaminants from one ink to another, and if one of your inks has gone off, you might, or has mold in it, God forbid, you might be spreading that mold into your other inks. And so don't do this at home, kids. Do as I say, not as I do, I guess. But I just wanted to throw that out there. But anyway, without further ado, let's start the voiceover and picture because I'm getting super good at this video editing thing. Aw, yeah, wicka wicka wild wild. I don't know what that was. I will try and avoid doing that in the future. Anyway, here we go. So for this first one, I'm going to show it to you in real time so that you get a feel for what the process is. And I'm doing this on 68 GSM Tomoe River paper, and this is a Tombow Futunesque hard-tipped marker that I use for hand lettering. You've seen me use it before if you've been on this channel. And the first trend, and here's what it looks like, is digital lavender. And I was like, what the frick is digital lavender? Like, huh? Apparently, there is a trend that is taking off for lavender in the realm of digital, so social media, etc. And so you're going to be seeing a lot of lavender all over the place. And the first color that I thought really well represented this was Sailor Manya's Nekoyanagi, and this is a beautiful color that has cyan and magenta undertones, and I'm using a folded nib from Toronto Pen Company to dip directly into the bottle. I know we already addressed this, don't do it. And I'm basically just getting enough ink in there in the folded nib so that I can do a line swatch of it. Next, I'm using a Speedball C5 Italic nib that has this overfeed. What I like to do with this is I like to see that it has just enough ink in there in that overfeed that I can do a writing sample, but I don't want there to be too much ink in there. So I will take a piece of scratch paper, as you'll see me doing here, and I will release the hounds or some of the ink so that it gives a better representation of what shading looks like when you're actually writing with the ink in a fountain pen. And so here we go, writing the name of the ink. Ooh, super exciting. With this ink, you want to make sure to use it in a wetter nib because of the fact that, at least I found with chromatic shaders, they tend to be on the drier side. And also, because this ink shades, it can be a little bit too light to read. So if you use it in a wetter nib, that can help alleviate some of that. So the next one is Vinta Inks Mascara, and this is another lavender color, of course, but it's a little bit lighter than Manyo Nekoyanagi. And it is on a little bit of the drier side as well, and it does show up a little bit more on the periwinkle blue side, but it has great shading, very similar to Nekoyanagi. It's just not as punchy. So if you like a more periwinkly lavender, this would be right up your alley. The next color trend on point for this summer is gold. And that's exactly what you would think it is. I'm giving you two options here. The first one is J.R. Bounds Ambre de Bermanie, and that is a very juicy wet ink that shades beautifully. Next up is Diamine's Ink Vent Color Gold Star, and I thoroughly enjoyed using this when it first came out, and I still continue to enjoy using it. And it's very similar to Pelikan Edelstein's Golden Barrel. It just doesn't have quite as much shimmer to it, and it's not quite as deep either with the orangey tone. It is more like a gold star color, exactly as the name suggests. And it's a fairly wet ink. I haven't had any issues with it clogging up my pens, and it just makes me feel super special every time I use it because it's a gold star, you guys. The next trend for summer is chartreuse. And chartreuse is such an interesting color because it's like a yellow, but it's also a lime green. And the first contender is J.R. Bounds Veil Play. And it's like a tennis ball green. It's so vibrant and happy. It's a very wet ink, just like J.R. Bounds' other inks. In this same color family is Color Traveler's Hiroshima Lemon Yellow. And this is, I think, a perfect chartreuse color because is it yellow? Is it a green? No one knows for certain, even though it says lemon yellow. I just think it's a lovely color. I'm just becoming familiar with Color Traveler inks, and I definitely think it's worth checking them out if you haven't tried any of their stuff before. The next trend is red, but not just any red, more so orange reds. And orange reds are some of my favorite reds, period. And one of the ones that I really enjoy using is Tasha's Aka. And it's just such a vibrant, punchy red that also sheens. It's not too wet, it's not too dry, it's well behaved, and I haven't really had any issues with it feathering. You guessed it, another J.R. Bounds ink, and this is, one of the ones that just started the shimmer craze, and it's J.R. Bounds Rouge Hematite. I love how it is a orange red, but it also sheens this green gold, and it has an actual shimmer to it. So if you're not a shimmer person, this isn't going to be for you, but if you like to walk on the wild side and you haven't tried this ink, what do you live under a rock? I'm totally kidding. That was rude. But it's such a good ink. Okay, so the next big trend in fashion, color, whatever you name it, is Barbie. There is a Barbie movie that's coming out, starring, I believe, Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling. Hey, girl. And I just think because of that, spotlight is on Barbie and Barbie trends. And if you know anything about Barbie, there are two colors that she is known for. One of them is Barbie pink. And so that's one of the trends. You're going to see a lot of Barbie pink this summer. And why not have your fountain pen inks be Barbie pink too? And I picked two colors specifically for this. One of them is Sailor Ink Studios 431, which is just this vibrant, exactly Barbie pink, punch you in the eyeballs, Barbie pink. But then I picked another one. The second color that I picked was Pilot Urshizuku's Susuji. And it's still a pink, it's still bright, but it's a little bit more subdued and muted. Between these two colors, I got you covered for Barbie pink. The next color that Barbie is known for is Barbie blue, at least in my opinion. And you're going to be seeing Barbie blue out there a lot too. I mean, Homegirl had Barbie blue eyeshadow, at least the Barbies that I had growing up. And so I just talked about one of these inks. The first one is Waterman Inspired Blue. If you haven't used this, what are you waiting for? Go buy a bottle. It's just such a good ink, and it has a slight haloing sheen that is this purpley red color that's so beautiful. It's not going to, I don't know, take your retinas out if direct sunlight comes on it, like some of the sheening inks that are out there nowadays, to the point where you can barely read them. But it's subtle, it's a tried and true color. You can put it in your vintage pens, you can put it in your demonstrators, it's not going to stain. And then the other one is Pelican Turquoise. This is by far, period, one of my favorite turquoises of all time. So there you have it. And it's just such a good color. I love using it. And these two colors, Waterman Inspired Blue and Pelican Turquoise, are probably the closest two bottles that I have to almost being done. I have a ton of fountain pen ink, but for some reason I always go back to these two. So there you have it, the Barbie trend. And there you have it, the summer color trends of 2023. Yes, we are super fashionable with our fountain pen inks and stuff, aren't we? If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and don't pretend like you don't know where it is. I know that you know that I know that you also know where the like button is. And while you're down there doing things, think about subscribing if you're not already, because, this is a fun portion of the interwebs. And I hope you're doing well wherever in the world you may be. And don't forget, keep writing and playing with colors and stuff. Is this working? I don't know if this is working. I have my handy dandy microphone down here. You can't see it though. It is a secret. Okay, sorry. Should I be this way? Your mom is still lovely, and I hear she enjoys gardening. It's a cool hobby, I guess. It was the summer of '69. Boom, 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 boom. By the way, I am totally tone deaf. I hear the song in my head, but unless I've heard it recently, I don't know how to make up the sounds using all of this and this. So, anyway. And if you're not already subscribed, consider doing so, because this is a nonstop train of stuff and things related to fountain pens and art and stuff. God, why am I so awkward? And if you're not already subscribed, you should really think about, doing it, because you're already watching my videos. Why did I do that?